Today I'm going to be making Pounding Chomeur with pure maple syrup. I got this recipe from My Evil Twins Kitchen. The reason that I'm making this is because Zach suggested that we make it. It is a Canadian cake and apparently it's well known in Canada. And Pounding Chomeur means pudding of the unemployed or poor man's pudding. So that's what we're going to be making. But I can tell you right now, I don't think it's poor man's pudding at all because just the maple syrup alone was like $13. So,
of course, that's here, not in Canada.
They told me, Kevin didn't know. Some of you commented from Canada telling me it's just as much in Canada as it is here, which surprised me because I would have thought in the land where it came from, it would have been a lot cheaper, but it's not. It's the same price. So I don't think this is a poor man's pudding, but that's just what it's called. So I'm gonna give you the ingredients for the whole thing, but then they're gonna be broken up into separate parts. So you're gonna need 2 cups of pure maple syrup. So this is the container that was $13, and we used, it's over half of it for the 2 cups. You need 1.5 cups of light brown sugar. You need 1.5 cups of heavy whipping cream. You need 1/2 cup of butter softened, which is a stick. And then you need 1 tablespoon of pure vanilla extract. And then you need 1/2 teaspoon of salt. That is for the maple sauce. For the cake, you're gonna use another 1/2 cup of butter softened. You need 3/4 cup of sugar, 2 large eggs at room temperature, 3/4 cup buttermilk at room temperature, and then 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Then the dry ingredients you need is 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour, 1/4 cup of cornstarch, and 2 teaspoons baking powder, and 1/2 teaspoon salt. Those are all in this bowl. So the first thing we're gonna do is we have this pan, and we're gonna have it on the stove in just a minute, but I'm gonna pour the stuff over here. We are going to combine the maple syrup, brown sugar, cream, butter, salt, and vanilla. So I'm gonna put all that in the pan right now. You do is you move it over to your stove. You want to cook this on medium heat until the butter is melted and until the sugar is combined. So while we have our mixture on the stove, we're going to go ahead and put your 1 stick of butter and your sugar into your mixing bowl. And you are going to cream this until it is light and fluffy. It should take about 5 minutes. Okay, it's been about 5 minutes. So now you want to add both of your eggs. And then you want to whip it again until they're fluffy. Okay, let's see. That looks pretty fluffy to me. So I'm gonna leave that there for a minute. So now you're gonna take all your dry ingredients. This is just my flour. I could have just put them all together at the beginning, but I didn't read the directions. The first thing they teach you in home ec, and I'm bad about, is you're supposed to read the directions all the way through before you do something, because I've messed up things before, like if it says it'll take 2 eggs, and I'll go ahead and crack both eggs and put them in a bowl, but then 1 egg's for one part of the recipe and another egg's for another part of the recipe. So always read your directions all the way through. Okay, so what I've done is that's all my dry ingredients, and I've mixed them up. Now you want to take your buttermilk that's been room temperature and put that vanilla in with it. And then you just want to mix them together. Now you want to add 1/3 of your dry ingredients to your creamed mixture. So I have no idea how much that'll be. Let's see. And you want to mix it on low speed, it says. Okay, so that looks good to me. And, okay, mix this on low speed. You only mix that until it is just barely incorporated, and you can see there is still flour down in there, so it's just barely incorporated. Now you want to take half of your buttermilk and vanilla mixture and pour that in there. And you want to resume your mixing until it is just combined. Okay, now we're going to repeat what we just did. We're going to put a third of the dry ingredients. And then we're going to put the other half of the buttermilk. And then we're going to mix it again. And then we'll add the remainder, the last time, we'll add the remainder of the dry ingredients. Okay, I want to show you back here. This is the melted the butter and the maple syrup. This is what we did at the very beginning, and we just actually took this off the stove because all the sugar is melted and the butter is melted. So that is what this is, and this is that mixture that I just had. And I have a brownie pan. This is what we call our brownie pans. It's a well-loved brownie pan. This recipe did not say to grease your pan, but we were afraid not to grease the pan because we're afraid it will stick, especially like with maple syrup and stuff. So we're using the Baker's Joy, and it has a little bit of flour in there, and we sprayed the sides and the bottom. So I don't know if I was, it usually says greased or ungreased, and this recipe just did not say that. So now I'm taking that mixture that we just finished with, and I'm gonna pour it in here and then flatten it out on the bottom. It's very, very thick. It's almost like I guess like a cake batter, but it's almost like a pancake is what I was gonna say. Like dough, like you're making bread or something. That's how it kind of looks. Okay, so we spread that out. That looks good to me. Hold on. Okay. Now, we're going to take our syrup that we reserved. And the pan is hot. You want to pour this slowly. I wonder if you could, do you want to get a spoon, Kevin? You're supposed to have a spoon because you don't want this to splatter a lot. And you pour this over the top. We will not be able to use every bit of that because that pan, that's all that pan will hold. So we do have some left. So I'm just gonna leave it. That's just, that's our pan. Full. So what I'm gonna do, I'm going to put a baking sheet under this just in case it bubbles over, because I don't know what's gonna happen because I've never made this before. We're gonna put it in our oven, which is preheated to 350 degrees, and we're gonna let it cook for we're gonna let it bake for 40 to 45 minutes, or until the top is beautifully golden and appears completely set. Okay, I'm so glad that I put a baking sheet under this, because I wish that I had put, if I had thought better of it, I would have put Reynolds wrap if I had known it was gonna overflow this much, because I'm sure this pan is not gonna be any fun to clean. But there is how it looks. It looks good. It smells wonderful. It smells very, very sweet. So what you do now is you allow it to cook for cook. You allow it to cool for several hours before serving. So I will probably leave it there for 2 hours and see if it settles any, and then we'll give it a try. Okay, it has been a couple of hours, and I have this little spatula that I'm going to use, and that is what I'm going to cut it with.
It looks softer than it appears softer than I thought it would be.
You're supposed to get 12 to 16 pieces is what it says, but if you look at my pan, this pan is not going to be any fun at all. And this, look, this just stuck to it. This will not be any fun at all to clean.
I'll have to scrape it.
But it smells wonderful, and it has made the whole house smell wonderful. So we'll just have to see how easy it comes out of here. I am glad that I greased the pan, because I do think that it would have stuck. Okay. So there's how it looks.
That is not at all how I would have thought it would have looked.
No, if you look in the pan, it looks like all the
juice sunk to the bottom.
The juice sunk to the bottom, yeah.
That's cool. Interesting.
So now we'll have to try it. Okay, I cannot wait to try this. And I want to make sure I get some of that stuff that was on the bottom.
Yeah, really, it surprises me that it looks the way it does. I know exactly what that tastes like.
It tastes like something, it's very familiar. Very familiar.
You ready for this?
Uh-huh.
That's a pancake. That's a fluffy pancake with maple syrup on top of it.
It is. It is like a really fluffy pancake with syrup.
Like one you buy at the restaurant.
Yes.
Not one you make at home, but one you buy at the restaurant. It's got like
at IHOP.
Yeah, buttermilk and all that, and they're like this thick each, you know. The ones we made at Bob Evans, this tastes like that. That's exactly what. When I ate that, it's like that's a pancake.
That sauce.
It even has a texture of a pancake.
That's like a little piece of heaven.
The sauce.
I mean, I'm telling you that is excellent. That is awesome. Mm-hmm. Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
I really like that a lot. Mmm.
Well, if you like pancakes, you need to try this recipe.
Oh, it's so good.
Because this tastes just like a pancake.
Mm-hmm. The only thing I would do different is I would
line your pan with aluminum.
Yes, line it with aluminum, because that way you won't have to worry about scraping your pan off, because when you put it in the oven, it is going to bubble. And you know what? Most people might bake it in a glass pan that's that same size, but we don't have one. We have a glass lasagna pan, but we don't have a glass pan that's that size. I know a lot of you do. So if you make it, you might want to make it in your glass pan, but I'd still put it on top of a cookie sheet with a Reynolds wrap. But I recommend you all try this recipe. It's very good. Once again, I'll link to it in the description. I got it from My Evil Twins kitchen. And so yeah, I'll just have to link to that. But thank you, Zach, very much for recommending this cake. It was really fun to make, and so I appreciate it. It's delicious. So I hope everyone enjoyed this, and thanks for watching. Oh my goodness, that is so good.